All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lunch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you. And let's party. Big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch this, even though you missed the live party, guys. That is the best part, so make sure you are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So hit that subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. If you would like to support the channel, head on over to theindianjesus.com for your very own official merch. You can also scroll right below the video here, hit that join button, and become a member. Of course, you know our Discord server is completely free to join. But if you join the channel as a member, then you get full access, which includes the after party where as soon as we are done here, we are going into the after party where you're not stuck behind your keyboard. You're actually on screen with me and everybody else. It is a grand old time. You should definitely come and join us. Shout out to Zippy already in the building. We also got Quam Tech. Welcome to the party. I said, who's the better conspiracy theorist, Alex Stein or Tim Dillon? I got to go with Tim Dillon on that one. Shout out to Morty. Are you coming up or what are we doing? There we go. Welcome to the, maybe, I do not know. Shout out to Indie Film. Welcome. How are we doing? So yes, we are talking about Tim Dillon. I believe the first time on this channel. Which is not okay. It is not okay. I love Tim Dillon, and I listen to a lot of Tim Dillon, but just the way that he covers things is so concise and so just tight and well that it doesn't really leave a lot of room for me to be like, oh, okay, let's cover Tim Dillon, and then I can add my my stuff. But he was on the Diary of a CEO podcast, one that I hadn't heard of before. It's actually a pretty big podcast. But he was on and covered a couple different issues. And it's a rather long podcast, so I think we can skip around a little bit. But I think we're gonna have fun. So guys, hit that like button. As always, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
Tim, I've watched you for many a year now, and I think you're one of the most exceptional, interesting, provocative, talented comedians because you have a remarkable ability to to improvise, it seems.
Well, thank you.
And I wonder how someone learns to do that. Where does that talent come from?
I was a closeted gay cocaine addict for many years. You really have to be good on your feet when you are.
And on your knees. Hey! Just kidding. Hey, shout out to Guam Tech starting off the show hot with the $10 Venmo. And of course, every donation comes with a treat for Morty. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you so very, very much. You know, that is very, very much appreciated. And Morty is loving it. Thank you, sir. Thank you very, very much.
Are a closeted gay cocaine addict from like 13 to 25. You're going to run into situations where you're going to need to lie. And you're going to need to be able to kind of, filibuster. And I guess I got good at it then. I was always good at talking, but I think that was good. That kind of allowed me to think on my feet more than other people would have to, perhaps.
Fair.
Not always for the best reasons. Some of our best qualities don't come about because of the best reasons. But it's good that I have that quality now, I guess.
Do you know Jimmy Carr?
I don't know him personally. I adore his comedy, and he's like an amazing comedian. But I don't know if we've met.
I don't remember where this is going. But if you're not familiar, Jimmy Carr is an English comedian. Apparently, this guy is English.
I was sat here with him 2 weeks ago, and he said to me, "says Steve, when you meet a comedian, you don't ask a comedian if they're depressed. You ask them which one of their parents is depressed."
That's a good way to say it. Sure. Well, my mother was a schizophrenic, so I tend to think on the mental illness hierarchy, she was kind of kind of the gold standard, whereas depression, all due respect, is slightly less. And then I think my father might have been on and off depressed, but schizophrenia was the you know, central challenge in her life.
For people that don't know what that is or haven't experienced it, how does it sort of manifest being schizophrenic, especially for you as a 10-year-old when you have a schizophrenic parent?
Yeah. It started to really come out when.
Are you guys hearing the video all right? I just turned it up. It was turned down a touch for whatever reason, but let me know. Shout out to Nick Luchetti in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Always, always, always good to see you, brother. Quantex said, I love Diary of a CEO. There's a really good podcast they had with Dr. K. I would put him up there with Jordan Peterson as far as psychotherapy. Oh, Dr. K. Interesting. I was thinking about covering. So yesterday I was going through all the Destiny stuff that I had saved to watch and hadn't watched yet. And thank you, Quantex. And he was covering when Dr. K and Dr. Mike were having a conversation. And I mean, I don't know, just because again, Destiny's coverage was really good, and I don't want to just like kind of parrot what he was saying, but I don't know, maybe we'll go down that road a little bit. The mind, body, spirit, all that good stuff. Important to check out. But good, I'm glad we have somebody who's familiar with the platform,
especially for you as a 10-year-old when you have a schizophrenic parent.
Yeah, it started to really come out when I was about 13. And 12 or 13, it's a lot of paranoia. It's a lot of confusion that as a child, you're trying to contextualize. You don't really understand why your mother is talking about people following her or these grand, elaborate stories that aren't true. And even at 12 or 13, you know they're not true. And you're worried for her because physical illness is very easy to kind of understand as a child because, somebody gets sick. As a child, you get sick. Yeah. So you get it. Mental illness is much tougher to understand.
Yeah, you have no frame of reference for like what is happening. Like you've bumped your knee, you've fallen over. Shout out to Zippy, the SM Lee with the Rumble Rant. Said audio is perfection today. That's what I like to hear. That is what I like to hear. Thank you, sir. Very, very, very much appreciated. And look who we got. Burner Popcorn account in the building. Welcome. So they're probably kind of equal, to be honest. Both good in their conspiracy knowledge. I definitely, I definitely think, JVP is a little bit more. They have different things. I think if I wanted one to be my therapist, I would probably want to go to Dr. K if I had to pick from one of them. But if I wanted to follow somebody in terms of what's going on in the world, I would probably go more in the Peterson direction. But either way, welcome to the party. Says, I'm going to call myself the resident Tim Dillon expert. Seen him 3 times live at stand-up shows. He is the best. All right, so we got an expert on either side. Welcome to the party.
As a chick.
What happened here?
As a child, because, somebody gets sick. As a child, you get sick, so you get it. Mental illness is much tougher to understand. As a child, you only really start to understand it as you go through life, and when you become more of an adult, you start to look back at it because you've had your own mental struggles. You know people that have had mental struggles. At 12, you really don't for most 12-year-olds. So it's something that I've understood more as I got older. And then it was kind of just very disorienting and confusing.
And what was the sort of cost or the impact that confusion had? Because, you're so right. With schizophrenia in particular, when you can compare how your parents are acting to other parents, that sort of disparity or that distinction must be quite...
It's jarring.
Yeah.
It's jarring. When you're young and you are at somebody else's house and you see the way their mother is talking and you see the way that the family interacts, and in your house when that is different. And my mother was a very fun person, very eccentric.
So obviously, you know, my mom didn't have schizophrenia, but as I've talked about, you know, decently at length, especially last night. That's right, I was live last night. Make sure you hit the subscribe because I've been doing a lot more just chill lives. But we were talking about how you know, I didn't necessarily have a super tight relationship with my mom, and then I'd go over to friend's house and see that, like, you know, just have dinner at a friend's house and they're all like joking around and they have inside jokes and I'm like, this is just weird. Like, you can do that with your mom? I thought that was only for friends. And it I mean, again, obviously not exactly the same situation, but definitely shocking. A little bit of a culture shock. Burner Popcorn account said, FYI, Tim is a former subprime mortgage salesperson and cocaine addict. His mother is a former wiki-watchy mermaid. I don't know what that is. And had to be institutionalized for her mental health. Tim was a New York City. Well, let's let him get it. Let's let him do the show. But glad to see you are really that expert.
A free spirit her whole entire life. She had been. It wasn't hellish to grow up with her. I loved her and she loved me a lot. But around my early teen years, it became apparent that something was wrong. I think I was in the car one day, and I remember she said, there are people that are following us, but don't worry, they're protecting me. And I found that to be so crazy. Like,
I feel like Cash App is like, you know, here, and Venmo, like, you guys are more than Venmo. I never used Cash App before until I was here. So we're going to keep it with Venmo. We classy.
Crazy, right? Not only did she believe that there were people following her.
You still hit me on Cash App. I'm just saying. The banner is going to say Venmo.
So crazy, like doubly crazy, right? Not only did she believe that there were people following her, but that they were doing it to protect her. I thought that was so crazy. And I remember being young and hearing that and internalizing that as something is actually really wrong. And I remember thinking about it and telling a friend of mine, like, I think my mother, you know, is crazy, you know, and I don't know, you know, and that got progressively worse as I got older.
So again, as we, you know, the lens of this particular stream is Tim Dillon a trustworthy voice? And getting a look into his past and how not just what his past was, but how he speaks about his past is hugely impactful on you know, how he talks about the present and future.
And what was the impact of all of that on you? Like, growing up in that family home, how does that shape you? And does that leave any sort of fingerprints on you that are still with you today in terms of comedy or who you are?
Yeah, for sure. The fragility of mental health,
what a dummy,
is something that I understand in a way that other people don't. I understand that people can have a nervous breakdown. People can, you know, have, you know, a stress-related event that tips them in a direction where, you know, and I've had friends that have had this, right? Like, you know, it's a difficult thing to understand at 12 or 13. But that was a huge impact on me growing up, was basically your world is rocked a little bit when someone is suffering from a mental health issue. You feel less secure, less safe. You kind of feel like something is coming that isn't good.
Imagine being, you know, there's a million different manifestations of being in an unstable household as a child. A million and one different ways that could manifest. Whether it's, you know, the type of version that I was talking about, whether it's something as extreme as what he's talking about. But imagine that instability, which clearly in most cases you can pinpoint it. Oh, my mom was this, or my dad did this, or my brother was this, and my you know, my mom was divorced, and whatever the case is, usually there's some way of pinpointing it, even if you need the help of, you know, therapy or whatever. But this always brings me back to the Zoomer generation and how the default is, if you ever feel like your childhood is not perfectly exactly the way that it should be, maybe you're trans. What? How did that happen? How did that happen?
You know, schizophrenia is a degenerative disorder. There is no real cure. There are medications that can make the effects less apparent for periods of time, those medications have really bad physical side effects. So watching my mother go through a lot of like physical side effects from those medications, rocking back and forth, right? Muscle twitches and things like that was also very tough to watch as as I got older, and she was medicated with some very strong drugs to try to I guess mitigate the schizophrenia. It's very tough.
I can imagine. Let's shout out our boy, the Funk Master General. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Fragility of Mental Health in the Soft Guy Era. That's what's going to fix it. The Soft Guy Era is what's going to fix it. Men are just dealing with an unreasonable amount of stress. Now, part of that is just the world at large. But the tipping point is the soft women. So the soft guy era will push back the soft girl era, balance everything out, and it's going to be perfect. Soft guy era, drizzle. Welcome to the party. Burner Popcorn said Tim really doesn't seem to like his family very much. Well, can you blame him? Nick said bad people with bad agendas is my guess. For what? What were we talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Drizzle. There we go. Shout out to Virgil Kane all the way from Manchester, England. Good to see ya.
I guess mitigate the schizophrenia. It's very tough. It's akin to a loved one getting a physical ailment. It's very similar to that in the sense that you are saying goodbye in a way to someone, little by little.
And your father, your parents divorced around this time as well.
Yeah.
It must be very similar to losing a parent to Alzheimer's, where you little by little that you see who the person is and they're fading away. If I'm understanding what he's saying, it's kind of the inverse, because the being heavily medicated, it's just that her entire personality is fading away. And then so I mean, I guess it would be a similar thing. Again, I personally haven't experienced that, but sad. But I'm all for men expecting the ladies to pay up. Nobody rides for free. There you go. Funkmaster said men have always dealt with tons of stress. We actually have it kind of easy. Well, I mean, it really, you're not wrong. But the perception is reality. And so if the perception is that men have it hard, but that comes with some type of reciprocation, then it's worth doing the hard thing. If it's just doing hard stuff for nothing, well, then why would anybody want to do it? So easy and hard is not really the name of the game. With the trans thing. Okay, yeah. So I mean, yeah, just any issue, it's always, just trans yourself.
You are saying goodbye in a way to someone, little by little.
And your father, your parents divorced around this time as well.
Yeah.
And that sort of confounds things, I imagine.
Yes, I believe that was an event that probably was, I believe she was always a schizophrenic. There was always an underlying predilection for that. I mean, from speaking to doctors, this is what I believe. I believe that the divorce, the stress, but she initiated the divorce. I think there was a catalyst for her to feel perhaps vulnerable or she, I think a lot of stress brought on kind of the symptoms, because there were always indications. She was kind of a wild person, right? She would go out and collect these Disney toy sets at McDonald's. She would collect Beanie Babies. She would pick up junk on the street and say, we're going to fix it up and refurbish it. And these are antiques and everything. There was a lot of compulsive, obsessive kind of behavior.
And yeah, we're gonna get into some of this, because the title of the podcast is the Boomers are a selfish generation and Gen Z has exposed society's scam. So like I said, we're going to skip around a little bit. I want to give a good kind of basic for who he is, because I think a lot of people are somewhat familiar with Tim Dillon, but don't really know too much about him. So I want to get out, just a little bit of his background, and then we're going to skip around a little bit. Shout out to JL in the building. Welcome to the party. Well, perfect timing. I just told you. Talking about Tim Dillon. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
A lot of compulsive, obsessive kind of behavior. Some of the behavior now, a little conspiratorial. I do a joke now that where I talk about it, I go, the people that are saying the things that my mother said for years are now in Congress. So, had we known about YouTube, we could have thrown her on there. She would have made a good living. Really, she would have done well. She was a personable woman. But yeah, I mean, that was tough because he was out of the house, she was there, and she was struggling. And because I'm from an Irish Catholic family, nobody talked about it. And people would use words like eccentric or she's fun. Be like, Patty's fun.
So Virgil's saying the pity plays pour out of his mouth, the lifeblood of narcissistic personality disorder victim type. But I would, if he was just sitting on his own show talking about this, I might agree with you. But the guy just asked him about his parents' divorce. What exactly would you like him to say? How do you respond to this in a way that wouldn't fall into that category? Again, if this was his show, that all he did was sit around and talk about this, then I would agree with you. But that's not the case. And I mean, even if he does have narcissistic traits, just answering questions about his life. I mean, is that how far we're stretching the definition of narcissism now? It used to be an actual disorder. But hey, words don't matter, right? I actually agree with Virgil to some degree. Maybe he could be more categorized as self-absorbed. But again, how else can you answer what would be an acceptable way to respond to? So your parents got divorced. How did that affect you? What is a reasonable way to say that without being, the pity plays?
What?
I don't know what y'all are talking about. What does that have to do with this? What does that have to do with this?
Use words like eccentric or she's fun. Be like, Patty's fun. Nobody would really go, wow, I think she's got a real problem.
And you're sort of 13 years old, so you're going through all of the, the stuff 13-year-olds go through, figuring out life. You got any siblings?
No.
Okay.
So you're telling me that he should have said, no, I'm not going to talk about my parents' divorce. Because that wouldn't have been a pity play.
It's me.
Okay.
Just me.
That's
all the fun for me.
Yeah.
Just one. It was just me.
Do you think you were parented from that point onwards? Really?
No. I kind of grew up, and it's the generation to a degree as well. I think I'm more of an extreme case because my mother cared about me and she wanted, she hated drugs and alcohol. She hated cigarettes. She hated all these things. And if, she would, find a thing, she would go nuts and scream. She was never like a permissive person. She did not.
You guys remember the story of when my mom found a condom in the pocket of my jeans that I forgot to take out before I threw it in the wash. She was not happy about that. Again, I think maybe I'm seeing a little bit of myself here in Tim.
Encourage any of my behavior. She always wanted me to succeed.
Tim was definitely not serious when he said he wasn't gay anymore.
Not encourage any of my behavior. She always wanted me to succeed, and she was always very, critical of my behavior. So there was that sense. There was parenting in that sense.
Shout out to the Reverend Woodrow Goodshine Ministries. Welcome to the party. Is Morty coming back up, or is he going to go in his seat? He's going to do whatever the hell he wants. Welcome to the party. Yeah, he was definitely joking about it. I didn't even hear him say it, but I know he was joking about that.
Where it was,
and just for reference, this was April 4th. So this is about 6 weeks ago.
In a free-for-all, right? But generationally, we just weren't parented the way kids today are parented. There were no cell phones. There was no, where's your location? Nobody was being tracked. You were able to spend hours on your bike riding around the suburbs with your friends. You had a curfew. You had to be in by curfew. You had to make sure that your eyes weren't bloodshot when you went home because, you were smoking weed for the entire time you were gone.
And see, my house was the complete opposite. Like, yeah, you didn't have ways to contact, so you just didn't leave the house. you were at home in your room studying or doing something on the weekend. Maybe you go to your friend's house for a couple hours and you know you're going there. And even if you're going to leave your friend's house, then you have to call and be like, I'm going to be here to here and there and there. I mean, the difference between the average elder millennial / Gen X experience and my own is drastic.
So there were things like that. But in addition to that, which is kind of a generational difference in parenting, there was just the idea that she was dealing with her own issues. My father was out of the picture. So I had this freedom where it's kind of like I kind of raised myself in a weird way.
A lot of freedom.
Yeah. See, I didn't start smoking until it was like spring break of my senior year. So I was good with that. I didn't start drinking until after that. So I was a good kid. But I didn't have the opportunity. And so that's why when, you know, the only thing that I could do was go to hardcore shows. And then everybody there was either getting super drunk and smoking and then, oh, this and that. Or like, oh, we're straight edge. We don't do that. It's like, I'm going to go with these guys.
A lot of trauma by the sounds of it.
Yes. Yeah. There was a lot, I would say, unprocessed for a long time.
And that tends to find an avenue, unprocessed trauma, right?
It tends to find an avenue. For many years, it was drugs. That was the avenue, which is where a lot of it goes.
I said, shit, me too.
You know, and then...
How old were you when you started drugs?
I started smoking weed in 8th grade and 7th grade. The summer between 7th grade and 8th grade, I smoked weed a few times in 7th grade. And the summer between 7th and 8th grade, we really ramped it up. We really, you know, I was friends with a girl in my town who was fun. She was a lesbian who rollerbladed everywhere, which I thought was an interesting archetype. And I still...
There you go. The shows that I went to, you couldn't even stage dive because the stage was like a 7-inch platform. That's super underground shit. I did go to like Warped Tour and stuff like that, but usually it was just Hamilton Street Cafe. And it was just this tiny little venue. It had a platform that big, 3 different rooms, and that was it. 3 little tiny rooms. And there was like a little bar at the back. They give you plastic cups. Good times.
And she was a lesbian who rollerbladed everywhere, which I thought was an interesting archetype, and I still do. And she always was smoking weed while she rollerbladed. I thought it was a very cool, you know, she was kind of a goth lesbian who smoked weed and just kind of very London, to be honest. And she would just kind of rollerblade places high all the time. And I just became friends with her. And I said, this seems like a good way to live.
Shout out to Dillon Soup. Welcome to the party. Good to see ya. Well, once again, hey, by today's standards, I'm a rollerblading lesbian. I feel you, Tim.
And I just, you know, started smoking weed with her. And then very quickly, you know, within a year that, you know, we were doing blow and acid. You know, I dropped acid on stage at my 8th grade graduation, you know, with her and another buddy of mine. We, you know, dropped tabs of acid. We were doing ecstasy. We were doing lines of Special K. It was a good time. You know, I mean, this was obviously a response to everything I just talked about. But
it's always a good time until it's not.
You know, drugs are a lot of fun. They have a lot of negatives. But that period of my life was a lot of fun and terrible. But, you know, that's why I haven't done any drugs or had a drink in 14 years. So I'm not advising it. It's not a course of action I advise. But looking back at it, there were certainly good times. I know that's unpopular maybe to say. I don't think that, you know, it wasn't all terrible is my point.
Yeah, I think that's a good point about how, you know, that people who have done drugs and come out of it act like it's the worst thing in the world. And it's like, well, the addiction was the worst thing in the world. The being dragged around life by a substance was, but the first time you did it, like, there's a reason people get addicted. All right, so he's going to talk about hitting rock bottom, and then we're going to move forward a little bit. Yeah, in grade 8, 8th grade, as we would say in America. But yeah, that's pretty wild. I knew some kids who, like, I think most of middle school, I was just completely naive. There was definitely kids smoking and doing this and that and whatever, but it was just going right over my head. I didn't even know what that stuff was. Definitely by high school, though. Like, you knew who the druggy kids were, and then most kids were in that, it was like a normal bell curve. Most kids, or some kids, didn't do anything at all. Most kids would do, socially at parties, whatever. And then there was the kids like me who were too scared to do anything until I wasn't. But yeah, 8th grade. But then I remember I switched so fast because, like I said, I smoked before I drank. And it was a party in spring break where I'd smoked for the first time. And then after spring break, I remember me and my friend would meet up and put shots of Majorska in a thing of Monster before school. And by lunch, we'd just be like sloshed. That didn't go on for too long, but oh man, good times. Again, until it wasn't. All right, rock bottom.
I don't think that, it wasn't all terrible, is my point. But don't do it. But you know what I mean? But I wouldn't have traded those moments for anything. But it's not a good thing to do. I would have rather it be like a hot surfer or have gotten into sports or something.
Right.
What about
right? Yeah. See, there's different styles of the drug crowd. There's the cool kids who usually don't even, they do a line of coke at a party once or whatever, and they try to act like they're so cool because of that. And then there's the other kids who are just railing lines and nobody knows about it. All shapes and sizes.
There'd be like a hot surfer or have gotten into sports or something.
What about, were you comedic at that age?
Probably. Yeah, I was always kind of a goofball.
So were people telling you at that age that you were funny?
Yes. I would like to make people laugh. I, would imitate, we had a teacher who died. She was a smoker and she died of lung cancer. And she had a voice like this. And I would imitate her in the back of class. And I would be like,
Mike Wazowski.
In hell now.
Mike Wazowski.
Because of you, things like that. And we would, it was always kind of like, we'd drive around Long Island, we'd smoke marijuana in cars, and I would point at big houses. That's kind of a lot of what we did. We'd drive around like rich areas because no one was ever home.
Yep. That's the L ride that we would take, especially when I was in college, because I went to Rider University, which is in it's in a nice area right outside of Trenton. So it's like Trenton is Trenton, but right outside is in Lawrenceville. And so like super, super nice. And so we would just take L rides. We just go and, if you smoke on campus, then, public safety might come in and, they're patrolling. But you go in these huge developments. No cops are trolling around there. They're in Trenton. Virgil said, honestly speaking, can't imagine him as a cool surfer. Yeah, me neither. Reverend said, the first time I got high was because of Contact while listening to Slayer on LP. Good times.
No one's ever home in these rich areas, by the way. Mm-hmm. It's a real, that's just something your audience can take with them. Rich people they're never home. So we would just smoke pot and, drive around, and then I would just try to be funny, and sometimes I would be funny, and sometimes I guess I would be annoying. But I was always trying to be funny.
What was the age range of drug usage? And was there a rock bottom? I was going to say a peak, but it actually goes the other way when we talk about drugs, doesn't it?
Yes. So the rock bottom was I was 25. I owned a house that I bought with a subprime mortgage in a town called Baldwin, New York. And I was an alcoholic. I had not come out of the closet. I had not done any kind of stand-up comedy. I was working at a mortgage bank in Long Island several years after the mortgage industry had completely collapsed. There was really nothing to do. It was an incredibly depressing place. I worked next to a guy who was kind of losing his mind. He was losing his house, but he was ordering koi fish for a pond. He wanted to have a nice koi pond, and he would spend the majority of the day. His wife would call and scream at him, we have nothing, we're going to die. And he would always just call people and he'd go, what size are the fish?
And guys, koi fish are not cheap. They are not cheap. I don't know if you know this, but they're like thousands of dollars for one.
And how many of the fish can I get? So everybody was kind of losing their mind at that point.
Yep. That's all I got to say about that. Yup. Definitely got some wild stories. Well, being closeted and hopped up on cocaine and drinking like a fish, like a koi fish, it's going to get you there. It's going to get you there.
point in this particular very bleak office, kind of industrial park in Long Island. And I was just sitting there trying to be a billionaire in real estate, I guess. And I was hanging out with my friend's father, who's passed away, but he was a really fun guy. He was such a fun guy. I was in 2 boating accidents with him. That's how fun he was. Most people tap out after 1 boating accident. I was in 2 boating accidents with this man. He had 3 DWIs and a BWI. A BWI is boating while intoxicated. It's incredibly difficult to get a boating while intoxicated. It's an actual accomplishment. He was a fun guy. He never had a job his whole life. He sold drugs.
Why do you say that? You mean with Tim? You think he's gonna relapse or something soon? Is that what you're saying? He said, I thought I was a bad kid in 8th grade for trying smoking. And freshman year, I realized I was the only one who hadn't been smoking pot or worse in 8th grade. Yep, it's always where it's always there's always somebody doing something worse. Like I was the same way. Like I used to think that I would same thing. Like I would try a puff of a cigarette from somebody at school and be like, oh my god, man, this is gonna be the end of my life. Meanwhile, some kids are like, the insane. Oh, gotcha. Talking about the financial crisis coming back. Oh yeah. I mean, there's just how many industries right now are being propped up by just whether it's financing, from fake BS numbers from the government or just straight up lies. I mean, not gonna be good. I'm with you there. Not gonna be good. Start prepping now, guys. Start prepping now.
He was a fun guy. He never had a job his whole life. He sold drugs. And his wife worked. And I was friends with his son. I went to high school with his son. But this guy was so much fun. We adored him. There was one time me and my friend.
I mean, 2 boating accidents, guys. That's how you don't get much more fun than 2 boating accidents.
And we're sitting at a bar. It was an outdoor bar in Long Island, that kind of dumb tiki bar vibe. And his father came up to us. It was me and my friend and a few girls that we were friends with. And he said, I want you guys, like, I'm going to buy all your drinks. And we said, okay, thanks. And then he walked to the bartender. He pointed at us. He pointed at himself. The bartender, thumbs up. We gave him the thumbs up. We said, okay. We never got the drinks. We forgot. About an hour later, we got a tab that was like $2,500. We go, what the hell's going on? And the bartender said, you agreed to pay that man's tab.
Seen that one before. Oh, let me buy a drink. Those over there. Yeah. Up. Didn't they do that in Dumb and Dumber? I saw a Dumber movie.
Pointed at you. You said thumbs up. He's been drinking here for 2 days. He has no money. That's the type of guy he was, right? He was just a fun guy. I mean, so we would go out on Long Island from bar to bar in his little boat. He had like this little cigarette boat, like a real little, and we'd go from bar to bar to bar. And one time, I was 24 years old. We were going really fast. It was late at night, and we just ran up on like a marsh, and we were both thrown out of the boat. And I literally came to in like a nest of egrets, that bird, and those big white birds. And I was just in the middle of it. And I felt to myself, I said, my life is kind of out of control. That was the rock bottom. That was kind of where I said to myself, I said, you know what this is? I could have been paralyzed. I could have been killed. I'm like, this is probably not going to end well if I keep drinking. So I was laying in that egret's nest at probably 1 o'clock in the morning in the middle of, the Long Island Sound or wherever I was. I think we were in the ocean. We were in Freeport. And I was just basically going like, this is a real problem.
Yeah.
So then I went to AA. I started.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it often does take somebody to be a #idiot and to realize like, oh, okay. I know for myself, there was definitely a long period where it was very obvious that what I was doing was not sustainable. But you get to a certain point, and I didn't have like a rock bottom moment like, oh, I've ruined my life or whatever. It was a lot more just boring, and just the realization of when I was, spending the last month, using every dollar that I had for drugs and barely making it to school, with the gas in my car, barely being alive, getting dollar menu stuff every day. And one day I had to choose between either getting drugs or getting food. And I had many times before and chosen drugs. And I was just like, bro, I'm just fucking hungry, man. I'm just hungry. I don't, And I mean, again, it's not like there was some big moment, but that was kind of the seed for like, okay, this isn't sustainable. I at least need some type of plan. And for me, again, it was more of a matter of the fact that I just didn't have the money to sustain this. Than oh my God, I'm losing everything in my life. But of course, if you let it go, you let it go far enough, and it definitely will. It definitely will. Yeah, yeah. It's about getting to that point where you want to change your life more than you want to get high. But there's also the aspect of the drug makes you think that you want to get high a lot more than you actually do want to get high. So you have to want to change a lot more than you want to get high before it actually kicks in right there. I just said he did well to turn it around. Thank you, sir. All right, so we're gonna jump ahead a little bit to where he is. We're talking about cancel culture.
You say direct that energy somewhere else, but I watched that video of you getting very irate because Rogan, he gets canceled and you don't. And you say some pretty amazing.
Yes, try to get canceled. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if I was addicted to koi fish, I might have stopped faster because I would have run out of money faster.
You seem uncancelable in many respects.
Well, no. I'm not uncancelable. I'm a goofball. I wear crazy glasses. I'm a comedian. I say things that probably are intelligent. And sometimes people will look at me and go, that's a good take. A lot of the things I say are completely absurd. And
are they though?
I don't even know which is which when I say it.
I mean, that's part of the genius, is it not? That's part of the genius, is that you have to be willing to kind of be super wrong in order to sometimes pull that 180 effect and be completely on point. No?
Because I do 2 hours of broadcasting. I've done it for 8 years, and I don't know what I'm going to say until I sit down and I talk.
I said, shit. Me too. Burner Popcorn account said, no, he's kind of a crazy genius. Yeah. Comedian 2012. I don't know what that means.
And some of the things I say that are absurd start intelligently. And some of the things I say that are intelligent maybe start absurdly. And that's the fun of it to me. If I knew what I was going to say, or if I had an agenda, if I wanted to say a certain thing, I would get very bored very quickly.
I said, shit, me too.
But I just try to look at stuff and go, what do I think? What do I think? I'm being told this, what's my reaction?
And I think that level of not just integrity and genuineness, that's one aspect of it. But the genuine answer, the genuine thing that comes out of his mouth, being not only entertaining, but somewhat absurd, but also intelligent and on point. All of those things is what endears people to him, that he's not trying to put on this character and that he's just that guy. Just like so many other people who are genuinely themselves. They're different than who Tim Dillon is, but people like them for the same reasons.
And that's kind of like what I try to do. But yeah, I think I'm goofy, and if people are mad at me, they look stupid sometimes because of how over the top I am about certain things and how wild. And again, a lot of it I think is funny, right? So Joe has a different podcast. He has a podcast where sometimes it's funny, but he has very serious people.
Virgil, do you think this is like stand-up comedy? We're not watching his comedy. Are you aware of that?
People on, he's the biggest podcast, I think, in the world. I think you guys are maybe the second, right? You're up there.
I have no idea.
You have no idea. Okay. Clever. But,
yes,
he's hugely
exactly where
successful.
You measure up.
He, does all these really amazing interviews where he researches and he reads books and he's smart and he's talking to somebody and
reads books. Who does that?
I'm like shooting from the hip. I'm just going off the top of my head. And like halfway through a story, I'll go, oh no. And I'll just go the other way because I'll realize sometimes I'll read the third paragraph. I'll be dismissing the whole thing. And then when I get to the third paragraph, I go, oh, this is a problem.
But the thing about that is it's interesting that while of course Rogan has some great takes on things, you're not really, Joe Rogan is more of like the safe version of the alternative media. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, edgy Joe Rogan, but he's not really that edgy. Whereas Tim Dillon is like legit, saying things that like dude's asking about here, like, why aren't you canceled? And I don't, I guess I don't really know what to say about that, but it's interesting, an interesting phenomenon. George Carlin, he is not. Oh, what? You guys are grumpy today. Jesus Christ. Y'all are hating on Tim. It's the gay thing, is it? Y'all are homophobes.
It is, and that's what I think makes it funny.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Going on his show, you described that as being really pivotal for you in your career.
Yeah. He's the most generous person that I've met with his audience, with his fan base. All he wants is other people to succeed. He brings on comedians. He brings on writers. He brings on journalists. He helps them promote whatever they're doing. He has this huge fan base. He shares it with people. So I'm very lucky that he's had me on a show a bunch of times. And he's a very good friend. And like when I go on the show, we just have the conversation that we would have privately. We have it on a show. So I think that's why people like it.
Podcasting.
Yeah.
It's it's taken on a life of its own. What do you think of podcasting? I mean, it's been on a bit of a journey. Yeah. Obviously, there was this big, I think podcasting was like the OGs of podcasting, like Rogan started out, and then
Adam Carolla, Joe Rogan.
See, I don't think I could do a show like this where, it's very regimented. It's very clear that this is, outlined very clearly. These are the questions. This is how long we have to talk about this. I could never. I mean, as much as Tim is talking about how Rogan reads and I just shoot from the hip, like, not really. It's not like they have on Rogan, they have they just talk. But this is an entirely different structure. I could never do this. Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's like, oh, he's crying about this, and he's a bitch, and he's a narcissist, and he's crazy, and he's like, god damn. I guess we won't cover any more Tim Dillon. Shit.
And then Keith and the Girl, a show in New York City.
Yes, he's gay.
Mark Maron, those guys were in the very, very early.
Before it was cool, before anyone was really before the money was there.
That's
and
right.
Then the celebrities show up. It was like a bit of an experiment for a couple of years. It seems Spotify have kind of rolled back from that experiment.
Yes, because they have nothing to say. Most celebrities don't. A lot of them, are invented people who are created in a laboratory. The laboratory is CAA, my agency.
Remember when we thought that was only like boy bands and like the Beyonce level pop stars that were like just complete plants? The whole industry. Yeah, he's definitely gay.
And they create a person and they get a public.
Interesting point. That Burner says he's definitely gay. I almost think that served as somewhat of a shield with cancel culture. I mean, I guess. So. It's just that's shitty though. That's shitty. I don't like that. Like if you're gonna cancel him, cancel him. Like why are you getting why are you getting special points just because you like dicks? Like I didn't choose to not like dicks like that.
Agency. And they create a person and they get public relations people, they get lawyers, they
maybe
get all these people, business managers, agents, they come in and they go, this is who you are, this is what plays, these are the things you highlight about your past, these are the things we don't talk about, let's leave the Confederate flag at home. They create a person. That person then goes and they're now famous. Mm-hmm. It's a terrible idea to give that person a microphone and tell them to talk for an hour. It's terrible. Many of these people aren't that talented. Some of them are. Some of them are amazingly talented.
Smart.
Some of them are very, very kind of banal people. People tend to think of Hollywood as this place where it's all satanic pedophiles eating children. Now, undoubtedly, some of that is true. But a lot of it is just very banal, boring people that have been created by these corporations that when you realize how boring they are and then you look at how much money they have and where they live, that's what will drive you nuts. You'll go, oh, my God. So that's why podcasting is a really, really bad idea.
Yeah, I think there's a point where all of us realize that like you have this idea of like, oh, the American dream or whatever it is that like, oh, if you're successful, it must be for a reason. You must have done something to achieve that. At least if you are, millennial age before before Paris Hilton was a thing. Because even when Paris Hilton was becoming popular for being popular, like That was Paris Hilton. Now there's a whole genre of people who are just known for being known. And so maybe it's not as assumed that, oh, that people know this person, so they must have done something. But certainly 15 years ago, you assume that if somebody's on TV, if somebody's behind a microphone, if somebody's, wherever, that they're there for a reason. Everybody's just stupid. It's about who you know, not what you can do. I don't know where Sippy is. He's here, but physically, I don't know where he lives. Burner said, because the woke crowd does, on some level, give people more leeway if they fit certain criteria. It's absolutely true. Yep. Folks tend to get caught up in the flux. Zippy said, I used the Confederate flag to push the point the Confederacy were aristocrats who pushed the peasants into war. Well, that's a whole other conversation.
If you not, you'll go, oh my God. So that's why podcasting is a really, really bad idea for these people. They should be kept somewhere. They should have very managed.
Virgil, where's that heart, bro?
Things where they come out on the red carpet and they go, how are you doing? And they just go, climate change, and then walk into the auditorium and get it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I feel like the notion of just being gay, therefore you're untouchable, especially if you're a Tim Dillon type. Maybe, and certainly, certainly the aspect of getting Me Too'd. He's definitely inoculated from that. But I mean, I just don't think he's big enough. I think we know about him, especially the we being the intersection of people who are into stand-up comedy and into politics, but which I think is most of us. But I don't think I don't know. I'm more with Guamtech here. I'm more with Guamtech. Shout out to Paris Hilton. There you go, Virgil. There you go.
Oh, how are you doing?
Still ain't got no heart. And you could just come on over to YouTube and talk with everybody else.
And they just go, climate change, and then walk into the auditorium and get an award. They should be allowed to speak 2 to 3 words at once, and they should know what those words are beforehand. It is a terrible idea to give someone, again, these people that all of their interactions are with other famous people, all of their thoughts.
I don't know. I think that's again, I think people just don't take Jesse Lee Peterson seriously enough. It's not like there hasn't been black people who have been canceled. It's not like there's a whole different thing where black people will cancel black people within the black Twitter or black TikTok or black whatever. I mean, I do think, again, I agree with you 100% on the Me Too thing. I just think in 2024, being gay is the new straight white male. I don't think, based on what he said, I think other gay men, let's put it this way, take the worst thing that Tim Dillon has ever said cancel culture-wise. I guarantee you, if a more popular gay person said it, then they would get canceled. The other part of this is that Tim Dillon has always been part of that sludgy comedian aspect of the Legion of Skanks type thing. There's a reason that Louis J. Gomez doesn't get canceled. He's not he's not white, but he's not, you know what I mean? He's white enough. He's like Puerto Rican or something. He definitely is white enough to get canceled. What's the fat guy? Jay Okerson, whatever. He's a straight white male. Who's the rest of them? Like Tony Hinchcliffe, all these people. I think you're putting too much weight on that, and I don't think that's a good metric, not a good metric, a good mindset to have when you're looking at why things are or are not happening and what people think about certain things and why they are going to give certain people leeway and certain people other. I think this is just too simplistic. In the same way, I don't think people take Jesse Lee Peterson seriously enough. I think if, let's say, I think if Kevin Hart was saying the exact same things that Jesse Lee Peterson was saying, you're going to tell me nobody would have an issue with it?
Come on, man.
Nobody. That's what I thought. It's not that simple. Reverend said, I remember when Andre 3000 sported a Confederate flag as a belt buckle. Then the world lost its mind. Yeah, that was probably not a smart move, right? Jesse said stuff that would get him banned from YouTube if it was someone else. But right. If it was someone else, not just any random white person. There's a difference there. And that's precisely what I'm hitting on. Is that, yes, you are right, that people like Tim Dillon and Jesse Lee Peterson have been, for whatever reason, inoculated. But to just say, oh, well, he's a gay, so that gives him woke points. Or, oh, he's a black, so that gives him woke points. I think that's too simplistic.
Beta.
I don't know what you mean. What are you talking about?
Beta.
As an experiment, a straight white guy should do a channel of the same talking points as JOP. Well, we would, if we were really going to do the experiment, we would need a straight white guy, a straight black guy, a gay white guy, a gay black guy, and then we would see how people react. But again, the variable is more than just the color of skin or the sexual preference. It's deeper than that. Is the fact that Tim Dillon is gay part of, why he hasn't been Me Too'd? Of course. Is Jesse Lee Peterson being black, part of why he can get away with some of the things that he gets away with? Of course. But to say that any gay person could get away with what Tim Dillon says, or that any black person can get away with Jesse Lee Peterson says, I think is mistaken. I don't think that holds. And I don't think you guys would agree with that either. I don't think so. Understand. Let's do it. So maybe it's a little insulation being gay, but the loony left are cannibalistic. I don't think anyone is safe with them. Exactly. I only tangentially know that this is relevant to what I'm saying, but I don't know I don't know what's going on with Doctor Who, but it's in my entire Twitter feed. I do not care about Doctor Who.
It is a terrible idea to give someone, again, these people that all of their interactions are with other famous people. All of their thoughts are filtered through a prism of, corporate lawyers before they can say anything. This is not what podcasting is, in my estimation.
Is there any celebrity podcast that you think is?
I'm sure there's some that are really good. This is not everyone, right? I'm sure there are people that have really good podcasts, but like, if we're just talking in general about let's give A-list actors a microphone, probably not the best idea.
Do we know anybody who is like, that we would count as a celebrity? Maybe not an A-list celebrity, but somebody that's a celebrity, whether they're in a comedy or movies or sports or anything else besides just being an influencer. Is there anybody that you know that has a podcast that does numbers? That's like let's see, the most popular celebrity podcasts. Let's see. Who are they though? I don't want to. Okay, so Unqualified. Anna Faris. Okay, but like, this is I need an article. So from Riverside. Okay, what celebrities have podcasts? Well, it seems like everyone has a podcast nowadays. The reality is a few A-list celebrities have podcasts. The reality is a few A-list celebrities have podcasts that are regularly putting out new content. It takes a lot of time and effort to make a podcast that's releasing consistently. So celebrities will make a limited run series or just podcast for a year or two. Some of the best celebrity podcasts of 2024 feature actors and comedians that were likely more famous in the past and now have ventured into podcasting to share their stories and love for entertainment. Okay, who are we talking about? So Smartless. Oh, cool. I didn't know this was a thing. So how do we get... okay, so what are the numbers? How many listeners does... What is it? Smartless get. Give me the goddamn numbers. No, not demographics. Much money. Yo, this is obnoxious. This is why I don't. This is why I don't even know like how well my own shit does. What is this? How many fucking views? Okay, well, this is not helping, but at least we could see. I mean, I feel like that would probably be interesting enough. I don't know how long that would run for, but all right, let's see. What are you guys saying here? I missed a lot here. Yeah, I think we agree on that for sure. Virgil said, as a gay black man, I think you make an excellent point. Thank you. This is where we are. Context. So let's try the experiment. All the colors of the rainbow, saying conservative talking points, and see who gets canceled hardest. The League of Extraordinary Conservative Competition Colors. There you go. There you go. Great point. Kanye got the treatment, but that was a little different because of the specific group he was referring to. So then again, the question is, are we saying that being black? So, okay, I'm with you here because I think specifically being black and talking about Jews does give you some inoculation, similar to being black and talking about gay shit and being not negatively. But again, that would be any specific person, but that as you said, specific group. Star-Lord's X.
What?
What are you talking about? Am I missing something? She was not in Guardians. I'm bugging. I don't know what you're talking about. No. Ew. No. Is that Mindy Kaling? No. Nope. Burner says, no matter what group you're in, you definitely can't criticize the group Kanye did. Yeah. And while I am not in the camp that is for just criticizing a group of people, shouldn't have special treatment. All right, let's see what else we got here. So, Smartless with Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett. That seems legit. How did this get made? With June Diane Raphael, Jason Mantzoukas, and Paul Scheer. That's these guys. I can't imagine. So what if? Let's try this. What was the other? Smartless, right? Smartless. Oh, it should be. So views. Why are there no views on the thing? Show me how many views. This is obnoxious. I legitimately stopped caring. Scam Goddess by Lacey Mosley. Getting Curious. I don't even know who these people are. These are not. I've heard this is good. I'm trying expert with Dax Shepard. I've heard this is good. I don't even want to know what that is. Sibling rivalry with Kate Hudson and Oliver Hudson. Who the hell is Oliver Hudson? Conan O'Brien needs a friend. I think that is kind of proving our boy's point here. Is that what Ricky Lake looks like? Holy shit. The Office ladies. Every episode of this podcast, Jenna and Angela, actors that starred in The Office, rewatch and discuss an episode of the TV show, bringing their own memories of shooting it and being on set. It's a great behind-the-scenes view of the show and the relationships the actors developed over the years. So I think, again, this is giving us kind of a view into what he is saying. I think it might have been Rogan. Actually, it might have been Brendan Schaub who was talking about it. So actually, I don't stand by that. I had heard what had happened was it was good. Yeah, a few B-list celebrities have one, but not anything to write home about, which is exactly what he's saying, right? Even when he made when.
Come on, man.
Is there any celebrity podcast that you think is?
I'm sure there's some that are really good. This is not everyone, right?
I'm
sure there are people that have really good podcasts, but like if we're just talking in general about let's give A-list.
I will say, that when the Always Sunny guys started the podcast, doing the same thing as the Office, where they watch an episode and they talk about it. I wish they would actually watch the episode in the podcast, because I remember Always Sunny enough that, because I listen to podcasts in the car for the most part, whereas I'll, most of the stuff that I watch on YouTube at home is going to be the short form stuff, since I drive a lot for work. So, I remember Always Sunny episodes well enough that if they were watching it and reacting to it in the episode, even if I wasn't watching it, I definitely would have been able to keep up. But I had to wait, and like they'd be talking and be like, "Oh, remember this part and that, and then that happened, and then and then like, oh, it'd be something specific about this episode that I remember, because I don't remember the names of episodes. Some of the names of Always Sunny's episodes will tell you exactly what it is, but if, some you just don't remember. Chubby Pond? What the fuck is Chubby Pond? Is that Ricky Lake? Is that what we're talking about? I saw pictures of Ricky Lake wearing a 16-year-old prom dress.
What?
We are moving in the wrong direction, guys.
People that have really good podcasts. But like, if we're just talking in general about let's give A-list actors a microphone.
Well, yeah, A-list. That's definitely not A-list.
Probably not the best idea. Just probably not the best idea.
Oh, I get it. Where is it? Gotcha. Real life. Got it.
What's your
Because I know they give Meghan Markle money. They give a lot of people money there at Spotify, and and so I don't know but then they came out and said we made a mistake. We shouldn't have given these people money.
Do you think you should have gotten the money instead?
Of course.
Obviously. Who is the other? Even the Red Table Talk, like the amount of views that the particular episodes of the Red Table Talk that got the views were just like, put a 1 in the chat if you watched any other episode of the Red Table Talk or whatever it is besides the one where besides the two where what's her face, Jada Pinkett Smith was just tearing down Will's life and telling him either that she was sleeping with her son's friend or that he was a bitch for the don't lie to me. That's I mean, come on. Of course the money should go, even if it's like, the money should definitely go to me. But if it's not going to go to me, it should go to one of you. If it's not going to go to one of you, it should go to Tim. Why not? Speaking of money, oh my goodness. Said Morty must eat with the $10 super chat. Thank you so very, very much, sir. Take care. You headed out? Well, if you are, thank you so very much. That makes you the new co-sponsor of the stream. Thank you very much, sir. Very, very, very much appreciated.
We shouldn't have given these people money.
Do you think you should have gotten the money instead?
Of course. I absolutely believe that. But, I can't compel them to give me the money. I can't compel them. I can't get a member of the royal family to marry me, and I would have stayed in that
Have
castle.
you tried?
No matter what was said. But I can't have that happen. So I can't, Oprah doesn't interview me. So I have enough money. But sure, I think it's podcasting. To me, the fun of podcasting is being unfiltered, free, and just having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
interesting that he's saying that on a podcast like this, which is very clearly not like that. I don't know what other podcasts or podcast shows, whatever, that you guys watch, are they more like the Tim style, like this style, where it's kind of, I'm not really preparing any, like, yes, I have this prepared to talk, but like, that's the extent of like, okay, do I have stuff to talk about when we watch this? Yes or no? That's the amount of prep that I'm doing for something like this. Is it more enjoyable when the other shows are like very regimented and well outlined and stuff like that? I don't know if I watch any shows like that. Not to say that they're bad. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Assessment of these sort of different generations. We have these Gen Zs, millennials, and we have the boomers. What's your read on these
Well, we've
things?
given up on the children. The future is not the children. The children are no longer the future. The future is AI. The future is robotics. We're very clear on that. We don't even talk about the children anymore. We talk mainly about AI. No one's even said anything about the children in months, years, really. We've given up on the children. They're dead-eyed little monsters. They're running around killing each other. We can't deal with it. It's very traumatic. I've even stopped thinking about what they're doing because it's crazy.
All right, fair enough. Burner Popcorn accounts as I mostly watch edgy and politically incorrect podcasts, sprinkled in with some news and commentary. Last night, whatever, on for 6 hours. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, that is way too long. That is way too long. So here's what you do. Here's what you do. There's a playlist on my channel called Livestream Clips, and it'll just go through every clip I've ever made. I just fixed your life. I just fixed your life. I mean, no guilt necessary when it comes to the Indian Jesus.
With it, it's very traumatic. I've even stopped thinking about what they're doing because it's crazy. I'm more excited about AI than the children, just like anyone else. Who's reviving the economy of San Francisco? The children? No, AI. So AI is next. We don't know what we're going to do with the children. Build prisons. That's what I say for children. They're
So obviously he's being tongue in cheek here, but that's the brilliance of what he can offer is that he can just be very obtuse in a joking manner, but it represents what people actually think. Maybe not things that people are going to say, but is he wrong?
crazy. They're being raised by algorithms. They're all on fentanyl. They're all on drugs. We're all running around trying to kill each other and record it. There was a case in Phoenix, Arizona, these rich white kids running around, beating up kids at random, filming it and putting it on TikTok. No motive, nothing.
What do you mean no motive? Views and clout and money is plenty motive. You see, the only one I regularly watch, I guess, what else I watch more? Not very scripted either. Yeah, I can't. I feel like that's for TV. Like that's for your Netflix and your Amazon and your Disney and all that stuff, right? I don't know. So he says he's not wrong. When the kids are poorly taught and trained, all that's left is prison. And I mean, that is that's a more ideal situation than them just running around. I saw a TikTok from a middle school teacher, and it was a skit. And he, he's sitting at his desk and he calls in, just calling a high school teacher. He's like, "Hey, I can't. Can you sub for me this next period? I mean, whatever. Nobody wants the job." And the high school teacher's like, "Really? Nobody wants the job?" Like, "Yeah, well, I mean, it's middle school. It's not high school. Are you sure you can do it?" Like, "Oh yeah, I'm in high school." And so then the skit goes to the high school teacher, the woman going into the class, and the other dudes acting like the middle school kid, just yelling, just like all the Gen Z or Gen Alpha slang and like skibbity bruh ruse, yeah. It's just like I mean, obviously I'm not doing a skip, but it was perfect to the level of the degree to which intelligence or just ability to act like a normal human being has dropped from Gen Z to Gen Alpha. And we've already seen how bad Gen Z is at being in the real world. Not good. Not good. Context of my guilty pleasure is a Frasier episode breakdown podcast. Is that weird? Yes, that is weird. But hey, whatever floats your boat. Burn About One account said, "Did you all see the viral TikTok of the single woman in her 30s who thinks she should get a holiday for being her? Not that particular one, but this is why we have drizzle.
Just for clout, just for things. Psych, and they killed a kid. And finally, now because they're all white, of course, the cops didn't do anything for a year. And they were like, well, just a couple of kids having fun killing the other kids. This is how people grow up. So this Gilbert, Arizona Police Department does nothing about the whole thing. Finally, they just arrested these kids because they killed somebody. But this is not only there. I mean, it's kind of an epidemic where, like, all over the place, you see, like, young people, unfortunately, these crazy acts of violence that are now being uploaded for clout. People going, look at what I did. And what they did was, like, assault someone or kill someone. This is a real problem. So we have to deal with the kids in some way, jail them, I don't know what to do with them. But AI is big, robotics is big. That's what is next. The boomers, I have a book coming out about them.
They're too young for drizzle, all right? They don't need any of that drizzle, all right? That's a millennial and up, or no, I mean Zoomer and up, Well, I don't need age appropriate. Why are you trying to talk to little kids about drizzle? You fucking groomer.
I love the boomers. They're a selfish generation of people.
Wait, let's get this in full. Whoa.
Robotics is big. That's what is next. The boomers, I have a book coming out about them. I love the boomers. They're a selfish generation of people. The state of the boomers, these paranoid people who refuse to leave their McMansions. They will not leave. They will not retire. They lord around their houses. They diminish their children. They say, I can't believe you don't own something like this. They like holding these houses over their kids' heads. They retire to bigger houses. They have thousands and thousands of square feet. They're very sick people. They refuse to give up their jobs. They're dying in the Senate. They're collapsing in Congress. They will not leave. They will.
Where's he wrong?
Not cede any of their power. They're emotional terrorists. And I grew up with them. They're very
emotional terrorists. We were just talking about this. I don't think it's a new trend, but at least as far as TikTok goes, and at least as far as my TikTok goes, the seeing the estranged parent versus the estranged child, and that kind of thing going on, where you have, obviously, if you're an estranged parent, your kids aren't talking to you. But if you're an estranged kid, you're not talking to your parent, then you're on each other's pages. It's like, well, you're an estranged parent because you're exactly like my mom. It's like, well, if you would just do this, then maybe I wouldn't have. It's great. It's great.
Interesting people. They've proven the lie of the 60s. These hippies that everybody thought were like progressive, they're actually not. They were always just selfish drug addicts. They never cared about anything they purported to care about. They just wanted to get high and roll around in the mud. And then as soon as the drugs changed from, from acid to money, they, became this very like materialistic, soulless group of people. But the funniest generation that has ever lived, nobody's funnier. Nobody's funnier, because to be funny, like we talked about, you kind of have to just not care about anything. And there's no generation of people that have cared less about the future of this planet, about their children, about anything than the boomers. They're all little islands, and they all are about themselves forever and ever. And there's something actually refreshing about that, funny.
I agree. But at least the boomers think that what their positions are caring positions. Zoomers are proudly apathetic. I stand.
And they're holding the planet hostage. They won't die. They won't leave. I've suggested they be forcibly evicted from their homes and committed to mental institutions. Legally, we have some problems. That's not easy to do. I've spoken to some lawyers. There are problems doing that. And then the millennials were this very shitty generation of like, pin a medal on me, pin a ribbon on me. I'm right. I went to the right college. I got the right internship. I believe the right things. I tweeted the right thing. I did the right thing. I have all the right beliefs. I have the good politics. I have this. Shower me with, tell me I'm good, because my boomer parents, they don't care about me, but you tell me I'm good. The world needs to fill the void that exists inside of me. And these millennials are these kind of ambitious people.
I mean, we could end the show if you guys aren't having fun. Like, I'm doing this for you. We can stop. Like, you want to head to the after party? Let's put up a poll. I'm not just gonna sit here just if nobody's enjoying it. What should we do? I got work to do. Continue or after party?
That want to constantly be patted on the back and told how great they are. So they're kind of shapeshifters that conform to any popular sentiment. They crowdsource all of their opinions. They just want, whereas the boomers just kind of didn't care about anyone or anything. You have the millennials who are kind of like more like, I am good and you tell me that I'm good, because they're good to be told to be good. Their politics are aesthetic. They want everyone to look at them and to tell them how great they are. And then the Zoomers.
You saved yourself. Because guess what I am, brother? A millennial with boomer parents. And there's a lot of people who in their 30s and 40s had children in the 80s and 90s, which would make millennial children and boomer parents. But either way, welcome to the party. We also got unwanted foe. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. There you go. We got two right here in a very, very small sample size.
Are the younger generation after the millennials. They seem to be, somewhat like they're self-starters. They're very skeptical of institutions. They're a little more cynical. That's some of their positive qualities, that they're more independent-minded. The negative qualities are the aforementioned murder and the filming of the murders and the killings and the drugs and the fentanyl vapes and all of that. That seems to be less. I mean, we need a draft, to be honest. Now that I'm kind of older and fat, now we need a draft. Young people should probably just go into the military. I know that's going to be a controversial thing to say, but if they're just going to do fentanyl and attack each other in malls and put it on TikTok, they can go die in the Ukraine.
Well, and the thing is, that's a reasonable position if you can sell it. He's saying it that way because of who he is, but that's a reasonable position. The military needs people. People are sitting around doing, whatever because they have no purpose. And the only alternative, the only purpose that's allowed to exist in American discourse is God. So it's no fucking wonder that all these kids are sitting around doing nothing because you've stolen any opportunity for them to find purpose by mandating that purpose must be God. Good job. I think he means like we need to draft people into the military right now. Darius here's a little more on the serious side, and Tim really thrives on other comedians. This podcast is mostly about finances, mindset, and achievement. I don't know what to tell you.
So that Bowen can make some money. Are we still on YouTube?
So you would you consider yourself to be optimistic about the future? There's a lot going on in the world.
No. I
see. This is exactly what I mean. I know you're just playing that role, but this is why everybody's on drugs. This is why Joe Biden is in office. This is why everybody hates Trump, because of people like you saying things like this.
I'm sane. So I think there's good things happening, but I mean, optimistic about the future overall. I don't know. That's tough to be, maybe, right?
I mean, you've got elections coming up this year as well here in the US, which
we all know elections solve everything.
Wait, big business stole in local markets, so that all that's left is good? You mean all that's left is not good? Because the local markets would be good, right? Yes, absolutely, 100%, absolutely. I want to post maybe Sweden and South Korea route of mandatory military service for 2 years after high school works for me. Yeah, and if you're saying serve 4 years in the military and you get to vote, sounds good to me. Projection. What exactly is it that I'm denying? What exactly is it that I'm denying? Oh, I'm making the claim. You're the one that's denying my claim without anything. Oops.
We all know that's where the real power lies, the elections. No, yeah.
When you're talking about refusing to relinquish control and power, the boomer generation, I was thinking a lot about Biden there.
Sure.
Because it seems like your presidents are getting older and older and refusing to.
Yeah, I mean, Biden seems to be...
Is that what I said? That's not what I said. Just because you're too dumb to understand the nuance of what I said doesn't make me wrong.
Bit old. Trump's old. Biden seems to be in a stage of mental decline, though. He was really good at the State of the Union. They gave him something. They shot him up with something, which is great. We have no new talent in the country. Nobody wants to be a politician anymore unless they're psychotic. You need young people that care about the country and that want to change it. And what you're getting now more and more is, all of the interesting people in our country are, and the people that are ambitious and the people that have talent, they don't.
Yep. Yes. Christians pushed too hard in society in the 80s and 90s and made it uncool And now there is and without an alternative, people are moving away. If everybody was a good Christian, we wouldn't need the secular morality that I'm talking about. But the Bible thumping created the need. So yes, it is Christians' fault.
Don't want to be in politics. They want to be somewhere else. It's more fun to go to Miami and trade Bitcoin on a yacht. You know what I mean? They just don't want to be in politics. They don't want to do it. So you end up with these octogenarian, drooling, somewhat.
Could be, but not necessarily, because atheism is not an ideology. It is merely a position.
Like dementia-ridden elderly people who are incapable of even understanding what's happening because they don't even know what it is. They barely know what TikTok is. TikTok is something their grandchild shows them, at some party they're having in Maine. They're sitting on a hill in Maine eating lobsters falling out of their mouth. They go, "Look, Grandpa, look at the TikTok." And, and then they have to then go into Congress and hash this out. No, so I mean, the problem really is
they don't know. They don't know anything. To make that argument as an atheist, you have to make that argument from the position of the anomaly. Okay, yeah, I'm the anomaly. I agree. That is why all my years of thinking, oh, people can be just like me and be good without a God, and I was wrong, because I am the anomaly. So you are correct. Yes, I am better than most people, so I have to create something to make them as good as me. I am the anomaly. Correct. Now you understand.
Just don't have young people that care enough about the country because the press is going to rip their lives apart, right? There's so much more money elsewhere. There's so much more. And this.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's a good thing. I'm not telling everybody to live exactly like me. It's a good thing that I'm telling somebody that I'm going to give you a different thing to live by. That's not the way that I live. Oops, wrong again.
System's so toxic and so corrupt. They go, I don't want to get involved in that.
They're going to ban TikTok, aren't they? They're talking a lot about
They're talking about it. I have no followers on it, so I'm for the ban.
All right, so we're going to move up a little bit again to Elon Musk buying Twitter.
Elon obviously bought Twitter, and that seems to have kind of balanced the scales in terms of giving, one could call it free speech, but another outlet for people to just speak in a more uncensored, freer way. Without, Are you happy that he bought?
I think it was good. Yeah. I mean, listen, Twitter had become a really unfortunate example of censorship in American society. Twitter itself, as a thing is not a holistic thing. It never was. It was always this kind of battleground where people would just be crazy and, fight with each other and this, that, and the other thing. I don't know that it is. People say it's the town square. It might be. I don't know if it is.
It absolutely is. I mean, there's policy being argued by politicians over Twitter. How is that not the equivalent to what the spirit of what we mean when we say the town square? Mom Six said I'd argue it was the Bible thumping better than the Christians of the 90s and 2000s forced people away from Christianity by their attempted censorship and judgment. I'm not saying it's all their fault, but they had a heavy hand in the process for sure. So I agree.
I think it's good that he bought it. I think it's good that people can say what they want to say. Again, I think that at the end of the day, it's like whatever Twitter is for people, if they really enjoy it or they like it, use it. There are times when I enjoy it, I use it.
This is perfect. This is perfect. So this is the problem. You have somebody who's doesn't even believe in the thing, feels obligated to argue for the thing. It doesn't matter what thing you plug in there. That is a dumb person. That is an NPC. I don't believe in the thing, but somebody told me the thing is good. Therefore, I think the thing is good. I don't believe in the thing, and you don't believe in the thing. So clearly the thing isn't really real. But we should agree with the thing because they said so.
And when I just don't care as much, and I'd rather put those thoughts on my show and develop them more. I think that's, where I'm at.
Do you ever get bothered by feedback you get?
Sure, everyone does. Everyone does. But I don't get a lot of, I've tried to limit feedback because feedback can work in two ways. You can also start doing something you think people will like and then end up destroying the beauty of what you do or what you enjoy. So I think when people go, well, why don't you do more of this? Well, I don't like this. This sucks. Do more of that. You shouldn't be in that headspace. You should go out and do what you do. And then the responses to it are all valid because the people that are having them, this is their reaction.
Oof, when it hits you, dome headshot. I said, I'm an atheist, and sure, I agree with Lech 99.9% of the time, but that's not because we're atheists. It's because we're smart motherfuckers. There we go. There we go. One time, Tim was on Megyn Kelly, and that was kind of a hoot. It was when she did audio-only podcast. Shout out to Megyn Kelly. Context. And I'm also not saying Christians don't have things about them that aren't valuable. I don't think anybody is. They just have to get better at their messaging if they're going to attain the West. They say they won't, but they can. They can. First, I'd love to see Tim go on the All In podcasts and troll the host. Not familiar. See, it's curious. It's curious that when I have a conversation, when we bring up something that people are just yelling, everybody's like, "Oh, this is stupid. This is just yelling. This is just bad faith." Then I'm like, hey, this is somebody that we all know and love. Let's take a serious look at who this person is. Oh, this is boring. I don't like it. Talking about trolling the host.
But you don't have to consume their reactions as a way to program your mind about the things you create. I think you can let them have their reactions, and you can tell, you can look and does what you're doing feel good? Does it make you laugh? Is it funny? Do people you trust and like enjoy it? And in comedy there are metrics.
I'm saying there's other. I don't know if you're watching the chat. I'm not pulling up every person who's saying I'm getting bored. I don't know what I like about this. Like, what do you want me to do? You don't want me to end the show, but you don't want to watch it. Like, I'm just trying to. What do you want me to do? I'm just trying to entertain you. So, do we want to watch it or do we not want to watch it? Like, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is the Funk Master General is the new sponsor of the stream. So the good thing is, the thing is good and Morty is king. With that said, please give the king a treat. Please the king with a treat. He is pleased. He is pleased. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So very, very much, sir. Very, very, very much appreciated. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Knock in, Reverend, right out of there. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sir.
You trust and like, enjoy it. And, in comedy, there are metrics, right? There's all kinds of things. The internet, there's all kinds of metrics. Are people liking it? Do they buy tickets? Are they enjoying it? People communicate in all kinds of ways.
So your tour comes to the UK. Very, very excited. I'm going to do my very, very best to make sure I'm at least one of the shows.
I would love to go to the one in Finland where 19 people have bought tickets. No, I'm kidding. I love the finish. A woman sent me a message. She goes, "It's not London and it's not the Hamptons," but she goes, "It's what we have, and I'll show it to you." And I was like, "Well, I like that. I like someone who's very grounded like that, who really knows what it is."
But the Royal Albert Hall,
that's the iconic venue, and I'm really happy to do it. And I'm so mad you're in Australia. We would have,
I'm pretty sure I'm in Australia.
Real quick, I made a mistake there. We have 3 co-sponsors of the stream. Thank you guys so very, very much. Do you guys see this? Every time the Funkmaster General gives a super chat, it's like, oh, it's their 3rd super chat. Homeboy drops 3 super chats in a single stream. Can't get no love. Can't get no respect, but I respect you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Earlier in that day, aren't I? Because when I saw you,
what was he saying?
That's the iconic venue, and I'm really happy to do it. And I'm so mad you're in Australia. We would have,
I'm pretty sure I'm in Australia.
Godless, I will say this as I've said so very, 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 very many times before. Why godlessness is the answer is because it creates the avenue for a different ideology that can contain a moral structure that you, sir, would approve of that doesn't have to do with God. Because there are people in society, in our country, who vote in your elections who, no matter what you do, will not believe in God. So the answer is to bring in people who believe in God and people who don't believe in God. As long as you have only the people who believe in God, your political party loses. So keep on losing, brother. It really seems like you love being a loser. I don't know about you, But I don't like being a loser. I've been a loser before, and I sure as shit don't want to be a loser again. But if you do, by all means, keep being you. Keep being you. You definitely will be a loser being you.
Earlier in that day, aren't I? Because when I saw you post on Twitter that you were coming to London, I sent it to my team within about a millisecond and said,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, let's all get tickets." And then someone rebutted and said, "You're in Australia at that time, but you're in Manchester and Liverpool as well.
Manchester.
The 7th of April, the Royal
Yeah.
Albert Hall. What can one expect from that show?"
I think if you are into darker comedy, if you like, kind of, it's a lot of it's somewhat, topical to a degree. I look back at the
We'll do this since you guys aren't enjoying the show so much. So it says, look at what spawns from godlessness. No, this is what spawns from a lack of a moral structure. You are too dumb to see the difference between lack of moral structure and lack of God. Since the beginning of time, humanity has had morality. Long before any idea of a God existed. Just because you don't have the skills to come up with a moral structure doesn't mean that I don't. And so, yes, I agree. Many people are just as dumb as you and need something handed to them and say, do this. I understand that. I was wrong before when I thought people might be as smart as me and might be able to just figure it out. I agree with you. I was wrong on that one. I will take the L. But then you say so much depravity comes from godlessness. No, so much depravity comes from a lack of a moral structure. Again, your inability to see the nuance. I can't see embracing depravity as a way to win elections. I said shit. Me too. That's why. That's not what I'm proposing. What I am proposing is a secular moral structure. I keep hearing that that's not the answer, but I can't get an answer. Why? I can play that game too. Except I'm actually giving you the answer. You're just coping because you don't like what I have to say. That would make me no better than a Democrat. I'll let you sit on that one. Let's see. Where are we at? All right. Burner Popcorn account says, I'm Christian, and I want the big tent approach for conservatives and the GOP. We need everybody we can get to make up for voting irregularities. Nope. You have to lose and live under a democratic, authoritarian regime. Because Ian, who's not even really Christian, needs everything to be about Christ. Come on. It's so simple. Yes, correct. Why? Maybe did I just give an answer to why this might be the case? Oh, I did. Did you listen or did you not understand? Or both? Yeah. People are wrong all the time. You're wrong right now. So, yeah, people are wrong. I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with correcting people when they're wrong. Again, I'm perfectly happy with correcting people when they're wrong. Again, I am perfectly happy with correcting people when they're wrong. Maybe right now, but not because of atheism. They might be right that the current group of people who identify as atheists may happen to be in all this degeneracy. Correct. But you are not understanding that can be separated. And by you Bible thumping, you are preventing that separation from happening. You are the reason that they feel justified. Because you continue to perpetuate this false dichotomy of God or bad. You, who doesn't even believe in this shit, are continuing to push it. So yeah, I mean, don't fucking come in here and say that you haven't gotten an answer, because I will bring this up and we will stop whatever show we're doing and watch me dismantle you once again. All right, moving on.
Comedy, if you like, kind of, it's a lot of it's somewhat, topical to a degree. I look back at the year that we've kind of had, and I talk about stories that have interested me. in funny ways, obviously, and there are cultural trends in America and probably a lot of them in Britain that, we talk about all these things. A lot of the things that we've covered today, whether it's social media and its effect on children and mental health, all of these things are themes in the hour of comedy, right? And like people getting canceled for certain things and homelessness I talk about because that's an epidemic in American cities, like drugs, everything. So a lot of what we've discussed today, it's funnier there.
And you,
hopefully.
I think I heard you say you were thinking about.
If this was your first time here, then this would be totally fine. Because you're right. All of these things that you said, people normally think this. Yeah, they're wrong. People normally think this. Yeah, they're wrong. People normally think this. Yeah, they're wrong. And you've heard me dispel these things many, many times in depth. So don't play dumb. I know you're stupid, but you're not that dumb. We know that.
And you,
hopefully.
I think I heard you say you were thinking about potentially moving to London at one point.
I'd love to own something in London. I like One Hyde Park, but it's very expensive. And the reason that I like it is because it's the most expensive residential real estate building in the world. No one really lives there, but you see these young Saudi kids drive their Bugattis and stuff. And every now and then 1 or 2 lights is on. And
if you actually steel man what I said, I will answer this question. If you actually steel man what you think I will say to this, because I just told you. If I just told you in depth, step by step. So if you can steel man what you think I'm going to answer to this, then we'll continue. But I don't think that you're listening.
And to me, it symbolizes the utter coldness and emptiness of having things. And I think there's a beauty to that. There's something very interesting about it. That whole city of London really interests me. And I don't mean the city of London. I mean that city of London, that city within a city, which most people don't know about. But there's a great article in Vanity Fair. Read it or don't. The point is, that whole area of Knightsbridge is very interesting to me. And One Hyde Park is interesting.
I said, shit. Me too. So the question, if they are wrong, then why do most of them think that? And you think that? I would say they think that because they push people away. If that's what you've gathered, then boy, do I feel bad for the Republican Party. God damn. God damn.
The point is, that whole area of Knightsbridge is very interesting to me. And One Hyde Park is interesting because the banality and the hollowness of extreme wealth really shocks. But we tend to, and listen, we know the rich are doing crazy things, right? The mega rich, the yachts, the this, the that, the Epstein stuff. A lot of it, not good, regrettable. We understand it. There's also an element I think people don't understand, and that's the banality, how boring, how passionless a lot of people are at that level of, and that's always made me.
You would like to join the Knightsbridge crowd?
Well, to observe, they'll never let me in. That's the other thing I love about, I'm addicted to rejection, right? Since I'm 6, I've been auditioning and have no. So they'll never let me in. But it's just fun to kind of look at. And
for the most part, of course.
You don't even want to be in per se because it's not fun. That's the thing. It's not really that fun. But it is funny to me when I look at the secrecy and how
wrong.
Some of it really is really bad. And people are doing crazy things and they're overthrowing governments. And that's probably 10% of them. And then 90% of them, it's just they're fighting extreme, suffocating boredom.
And the north of England's very different, as you've observed.
Very spirited, lively, fun. Interesting. I love it there.
They like alcohol a little bit more. I'm
going to skip forward a little bit to what happens in Hollywood. Oh, my goodness. All right, now I got it this time. Now we got knocking everybody out of the sponsor spot. The Funk Master General said I will pay $10 to watch the dismantling. There you go. Really? Come on, YouTube. That's why we got the Discord, so we don't got to worry about censorship and all that BS. We could say whatever we want, despite the fact that Seabass didn't understand that whatever other flat Earth server he was in had rules. He was like, well, Discord says this, and I don't know, but that is why we have the Discord. But shout out to the Funk Master General of the new sponsor of the stream. It's all right. Paying for the dismantling, so we will go further. So Ian says, "I've heard you say you agree with their morals." Correct, for the most part. I agree with Christian morals. I live by and large, what are Christian morals. Then Ian says, yet you don't want to abide by their morals. In what way am I not abiding by their morals? I'm not abiding by their morals. I am absolutely abiding by their morals and excuse me, telling other people to abide by their morals. And yes, for that reason, I would appreciate being embraced by that. So if you are if you're not really that religious, then why are you part of the club and I'm a godless heathen? Put a 1 in the chat if you have a problem, if you have no problem with 2 men getting married. Why would you pick this? Why would you pick this? You know that this isn't going to go your way. You know that this isn't going to go your way. Why would you pick that? You could have picked so many things. You could have picked something about prayer. You could have picked something about the Holy Spirit. You could have picked anything. Oops, we got a Christian that's fine with gay marriage. Oh no! I think the fucking Pope, just came out and said he would bless gay couples as couples. Maybe you should learn a little bit more about what the fuck you're talking about before you open your dumbass mouth. Right? All right. So he's going to try again. If they pushed to once again make it against the law, you would oppose them, would you not? Correct. So would the Pope. Oh, but he's a fake Pope. Hashtag, what's the fucking thing? The no true Scotsman fallacy. I'm the real Christian. The Pope, he's a fake one, but I'm the real Christian. And all of you Christians who, are okay with the gays, you're not as good as me. Ian Hartman, the best Christian of all Christians. Even though I'm not really that religious, I'm the best Christian of all Christians. Vatican 2.0. Oh, shit. Got him. The Jesuits. Oh, shit. Going hard. Oh, my God. It seems like you, Ian, have more of a problem with the church than I do. And I'm an anti-theist. I think in psychology, you know what they call it? Projection! Dilly, bitch! It just tastes a little bit sweeter when it's a projection. Butter and popcorn account said, one of my friends from college is a gay man. Oh, wrong one. You're not a Christian. You have a friend that's a gay man? According to Ian, you should not be accepted by Christians or conservatives because you don't abide by their morals, right? That's the principle that we're operating on, no? I thought so. But anyway, let's continue. One of my friends from college is a gay man, married, 3 children via surrogate, and he's texting me that he is ready to go MAGA because he thinks Biden is the worst president ever. So fuck that. We don't want those 2 votes. We don't want those votes. See, this is the problem. When you guys are not able to separate religion and politics, it's fine for your religion to inform your politics, but they are still 2 different things. The ideas that you have about religion do not matter if they get squashed by the degenerate leftist atheists that you hate so much. You have to appeal to them or you lose. You have to appeal to them, us, or you lose. Now, I'm better than most of them. So I'm already going to vote MAGA because I'm better. But as you've pointed out, we can't depend on the average person to be as good and smart as me. Unfortunately, I thought we could. I tried that. But clearly, that's not the case. Shout out to Zippy, DSM Lead. for the Rumble rant. Said, here's $1 for the great rant against Ian. Thank you, sir. Very, very, very much appreciated. And then it's like, on the other side of this, it's like, it's almost as if we didn't just see Ann Coulter say to Vivek's face, well, I wouldn't vote for you because you're an Indian. Do you want to lose? You all want to lose. That's what's, okay, got it. You want to lose. Brutus said, if I didn't prefer birds, I would marry you, Jesus. I would say yes. I would say yes. I would say yes if you heart the video. Because all this time and no heart, what were we doing? I'm in my soft guy era, all right? We said the older Christian church married the gays. Oh, yeah, and he's Catholic. Not according to Ian. Ian's the true authority on who is Christian and who is good and who is not. And you and your gay friends are not invited to the club, according to Ian. Oh, I should do some research. On the subject. Okay, what should I do some research on the subject? No, I completely agree with you, bro. I'm right there with you. I've been done the reading. I'm with you. Christianity ain't shit. Which is precisely why pushing it as a gatekeeping, whatever the fuck you want to call it, to gatekeep on the basis of this bullshit don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. If you believe this, then why are you using the church to gatekeep your politics? What? Oh, yeah, the church sucks, but you have to be a supporter of the church, otherwise you're not good with me.
Oh, hell no. What?
I didn't realize you were that dumb. I'm not making you out to be anything, homeboy. You doing that all by yourself. Trust me. I tried to help you before. But you didn't take the help. Nick says, I think it's good. I think that there's good morals. Then there are people who are moral. Some Christians, some atheists, so some other things. But the morals don't belong to Christianity. They belong to mankind. Can we dilly to that? Do you think Jesus would rather live in this world or the world that you're proposing? Exactly. Shut the fuck up. You know exactly which one he would prefer. Hey, shout out to Mid Most Mark with the $5 super chat. Welcome to the party. Let's get that trait. He's eating good. Says, sorry, put your shows on nights with the pro wrestling on TV. I'll watch more soon. Hey, anytime you are here, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And he says, dilly, we will dilly for that. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, what else did we miss here? So we had that. And said, I mean, you're talking out your ass. They're even mentioning the Pope since you don't actually know about it. I'm the one who told you about it. I was the one who brought it up. Yeah, but I don't know about the thing that I said without you saying anything. Brilliance, this guy. Oh man. Funk Master General says says Christians can be against whatever they want. They don't have control of God's actions, only their own. Indeed. And says if they keep embracing your morals and changing their own, they won't be Christians anymore. It's almost like they're already doing that. And Christianity isn't an effective moral structure, so we should create an effective moral structure. It's almost as if that's the entire point of my channel. You're so close. Agreed. I mean, I said shit. Me too. They have to be a mega anomaly in regards to atheists. Okay, so do you not? Let's reset here. I agree with this statement. Do you think that these anomalies exist? If they exist, why would you not want those people to vote for? We're not even talking about being the president, an atheist president. We're just talking about people voting for the Christian that you like. If there are mega anomalies, in a group of people, would you not want those people in a good way? Would you not want those people to vote in the way that you would like them to vote? Okay, so what is the argument to Bible thumping them when, as we've stated from the very beginning, that is not going to appeal to them? You're so close, but you just don't get it. I get that you think you're right, but just pretend for 1 second that maybe I should think about this again. Maybe I'm not as right as I think I am. Try that. Try that. And then come back. Where are we? Dylan Soup said it's not that people have a problem with Christians, or at least the normal ones. It's the holier than thou Bible thumping mindset. They do it. Hence, why there are people who left the church. Oh, it's almost like I said that right before. Did you just get here? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. If you just stopped in, I apologize if you didn't, but I had just said this before you came in. And Coulter is a complete moron, for sure. Virgil Kane said, in psychological theory, you are thinking of mirroring, not really projection. How am I thinking of mirroring? Mirroring is when you're doing something that projection is when you're saying something that you're accusing somebody of doing something you're doing. So if he's gatekeeping and accusing me of gatekeeping, that's projection or not understanding. If he's accusing me of not understanding something that he doesn't understand, that's projection. But on our popcorn accounts, I was rewatching Ann on Tim Cast's Culture War show, and somehow I missed the first time that she was drunk. Not surprising. She is like the archetype for she's like an archetype for like the wine mom. Oh, Andy, you didn't see this? And Coulter, Vivek, Indian. Let's see.
Who I think has some thoughtful perspectives on the future direction of our country, of our conservative movement, and on this question of nationalism and national identity. Somebody I've been fascinated by for a long time.
I want you to remember that this is on the back of many people saying that I was wrong, that there were not people who would not vote for Vivek because of his religion, that I was wrong, that there was people saying they would not vote for Vivek because of his skin color.
And have interacted with on social media, but for the first time we're having at least a live form conversation in the offline sense of it. It's Ann Coulter. So Ann, thanks for coming on, and I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Me too. Thanks for having me. That was a fantastic opening monologue. I too am a fan of yours. So I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be fun. You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them.
That's funny. I don't give a shit who you are.
That's derogatory. And that was a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates.
So I agreed with what you said more than other candidates.
You're running for president, but I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that.
So y'all want to play leftist and go, that's not happening. Oh, wait, it is happening when it's only a little bit. Oh, now it definitely is happening. And you're a bigot if you don't like it. Or can we just cope and be like, oh, shit, my bad. I was wrong. I didn't know. This bitch just said this to his face digitally on his own fucking show. But yeah, no, totally. And then Ian, he's got to come back with the dumb bullshit. Do you genuinely think that when I talk to Christians about Christianity, which I have done and you have been present for, that I start with Christianity ain't shit? Or do you think that there's a type of discussion that happens when I'm talking to a troll and a different type of discussion that happens when I'm talking to a serious person? So no, I'm not winning conservatives over. I'm just having fun with your dumbass. Don't say when the WASPs want control, whoever, yep. But again, that's not what I'm doing. I'm doing that to you, not to the Christians that I'm appealing to. I don't care what you think of me. The people who I care about what they think of me, I don't treat them like that. I treat them better because I care. You, I don't. Burner Popcorn Count said Christians need to live in reality and adapt to the reality that not everyone is religious. If we want to win elections ever again, we got to get with the program and introduce new strategies. And I'm sure that Ian's going to attack Burner Popcorn Account for saying this, right? Or no? Because the Christian can say it, and it's okay when the Christian says it. But when the atheist says it,
How dare you?
it's the worst thing in the world, right? So I'm gonna go through. Let's see. Did he make fun of her? Did he make fun of her? Did he say anything about it? No. Where is it? I'm looking for it. I know you must have gone hard on Burner Popcorn Account. Come on, bro. Yeah, I know it's here. I believe in you, bro. You're consistent. You wouldn't do that. Right? Right? Oh, you did. You did do that. So you've exactly presented you are the manifestation of what I'm talking about. So any projection that you're talking about is on you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, yeah, they had a full podcast after this. So, I mean, but I kind of feel like, Vivek was kind of cucked out. Like, if somebody said that to me, I'd be like, you agree with me, yet you're going to vote for fucking, whatever. It's, oh man. You're right. You're right. Yep. Dylan Soup said, reminds me of some church pastor railed against gays against groomers by dismissing them. Just wrote them all as degenerates and heathens. Yep. And now they're all going to vote for Trump, right? Again, they are going to vote for Trump, but that's because they are better than the pastor. They are better people than the pastor. That's how this works. Let's see. Did they cover it? Let's see what let's see what Charlie Kirk and Jack Biscoe said.
Not demonstrated that he believes what we believe. I mean, does she think he's
not on
being
immigration? Can I ask a question?
I mean, I don't know. Vivek has said pretty strong stuff on immigration. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Can I ask one question about Ann Coulter and her past and her history? Because this probably dates back to her book.
Are you going to mention that she dated Dinesh D'Souza?
Yeah, so Dinesh D'Souza. So I know this. So I won't say. Wow. We won't talk about that. But there's a very tight circle of people that are friendly with that whole crowd. So you've got that all went to college together, right? That are all super close in that era. And again, we could get into this. I mean, I don't want to expose.
Shout out to Scott, pro wrestler. Absolutely the best activist we have. 100%.
Was my source on all this, but
well, then, she's not. So Laura Ingraham and Dinesh D'Souza both went to Dartmouth and dated.
Right. Funkmaster said he should have given her the business. She's always been a foul creature. And like, again, that articulate joke is funny. I have been at the behest of calling a black person articulate and not realizing that was a thing because I'm not a racist and I don't know about that kind of shit. So that's funny. But like, she wasn't joking. She was just like, nah, you're brown.
I don't think, and Coulter did not go to Dartmouth.
No, I understand, but they were all super close. So you have Laura, and then you have Harmeet Dillon, and you have Dinesh.
What?
And you have this whole group.
Shout out to Dinesh. I'm going to see Dinesh D'Souza debate Alex O'Connor in the Bronx June 1st. If you can get your ass there, I will buy you a ticket. I'll buy you a ticket. Let's see. What else is everybody saying here? Vivek, Ann Coulter told you she wouldn't vote for you on a live broadcast because you are an Indian. And your response, you respect her for being honest. Yeah, I wish we can get the...
With Bob,
see what... his response was... Really? Damn. Where the hell is it? But basically, he was just like, well, I respect her for having her opinions and so on and so forth. It was, okay. So Ann Coulter, she said what she said. Here's how we ended our 1 hour conversation. I told Ann, it's too bad we've reached a moment where many conservatives now define our views solely as a reactionary response to the left instead of defining our own vision on our own terms. That's that moral structure that I'm talking about. There's a time and place to be reactionary, but it's not an end in and of itself.
I think you see in me or the other friend you've referred to, oh, what a good exception to the rule, and what about somebody to actually help do a good job for this country, and let me help you, even though, while I couldn't have voted you for president, let me root for your success in a good-hearted kind of way. And the equivalent of that emotion or reaction or view that I have of you is, gee, how terrible it is that we have become a country where our national identity is completely gone. We have immigration policies that have contributed to it. We have domestic.
So, Ian, are you purposely ignoring Zippy, or are you just scared of him?
Domestic self-hating policies like the Great Society of Lyndon Johnson that have contributed to it, that has led otherwise thoughtful, patriotic, country-loving, history-understanding Americans to have missed the mark ever so slightly.
Hey, shout out to Tug Dixon, and shout out to the YouTube algorithm telling you exactly what you need. Welcome to the party. We were talking about Tim Dillon, but we took a little detour to see Ann Coulter being super racist to Vivek, and this is the end of their conversation. But welcome to the party.
On what actual American identity is.
He said it, the American identity. That's me, the American identity. Let's go. Secretary, take Vivek's reaction as allowing his enemies to dig their own graves. Why feign outrage when you know your base will do the job for you? Maybe maybe I feel like he didn't know. It's not feigning outrage. She's like, I agreed with a lot of the ideas you had, but I wouldn't vote for you because of the color of your skin. That's not some wokey cancel culture bullshit. That's you being straight up racist and bigoted. I don't think there's any feigning outrage there. I would have been legitimately outraged. Like, bitch, who the fuck are you? Exactly like Popcorn said. You aren't a real blonde. So should we not vote? Should we not read your books? Because what are we talking about? Shout out to Trey Williams. Welcome to the party. So I didn't have an issue with what she said about black people, because I do hate when people say it to me, and just couldn't figure out why she even needed to say the part about black people. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. She definitely is just a racist person. Like, that was an opportunity to say a racist thing, so she took the opportunity to be racist. I don't think it's more complicated than that. And I think that most of the racism that we see is like that. I don't think that we see this covert stuff as much as it's purported to be. But I mean, I hear you. She definitely did not need to say that. You are welcome. Yeah, right. Yeah, she's just insane. Shout out to ZBD Assembly. Another Rumble rant said Ian Hartman is projecting so much he does not know what time zone he's in. Oh, get him a watch. Get him a watch. You know, watch your ass. Oh man. Burner Popcorn account said Anne doesn't want an Indian president, but it's okay having an Indian boyfriend. Like, why? Why? And again, like, it's not like we're like, oh my God, everything's racist. Being on time is white supremacy. Like, oh, we hate all of that shit. But that's different than being, I won't vote for you because of the color of your skin. I don't think it's woke. I just say, fuck that line of thinking. Call me crazy. Call me woke. Call me lefty. But I don't think it's cool to tell people, I think you're good, except that you're not good enough because of the color of your skin. Call me crazy. Call me woke. I understand I'm another minority, but I found Anne's statement about black people to be pretty cringe and unnecessary. Again, I found that funny, but only because of my personal experience of not understanding that that's a thing. So I found it funny. Sorry. Dylan said woke racism and righty/neocon racism are just different flavors of an awful thing. Yeah, there's a definite right-wing wokeness that's bubbling up. You know, the Ben Shapiro type of thing. It's different, and it's hard to get a read on exactly what it is because it's still kind of coming out, but it's definitely there. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And she's okay with, you know, she knows that the clip is going to go viral. She probably has a new book. That's probably the only reason she's there. I mean, you know, it's simple stuff. Simple stuff. Adrian said, I didn't vote for Obama either time because of his politics, and he's gay. I mean, so if you liked his politics and he was gay, would you have voted for him? If he was Trump, or if Trump was gay, that's a poll. That's a poll. If Trump he's exactly the same, he's just gay. He's exactly the same personality, he's just gay. Would you vote for him? Would you vote for Trump if he was the same but gay? That's a typo, but we leave it. Okay, honest question. Every time I vote in a presidential election, the guy I vote for loses. Should I skip voting this year? No, unless you're going to vote for Biden. And then yes, skip voting. But no, I think you know, there's a lot of people that vote, and I mean, any one person's vote is not necessarily you know, anything, unfortunately. It would be nice if the smarter people had more of an influence, but one vote, one person. One vote said Stormy Dan instead of Stormy Daniels. Lieutenant Dan instead of Stormy Daniels. There you go. There you go. You said it was a joke. I would vote for Dave Rubin because he's a better kisser than Obama. Oh, come on. Trump is funny. His humor is a bag of dicks. It's happened 4 times. I'm beginning to wonder. I mean, you do whatever you want to do with your vote, but I mean, I think that you should vote. So I think, you know, I think we've kind of left. I think we've kind of left Tim Dillon in the dust. So we'll end on this right after the podcast. He was on Crowder, and let's just watch.
Well, let's just level at this. We're having some fun here. I stepped down from my seat.
Come on. This is the shorter one. I want the longer one.
We didn't have a red wave in 2020. I think the reason we didn't have a red wave in 2022 is not because of abortion. It's not because of Donald Trump. Criticize after we did not have. I'm talking about ending 4.
Okay, well, I'll just use this clip. But basically, you know, Vivek saying, you know, I'm willing to say all these things about race and immigration and this, that, and whatever. And I don't understand why other people won't stand up as well. And Crowder's like, I know. It's because of the color of your skin. No, seriously, that inoculates you, and you can say whatever you want. And Vivek pushed back and said, I'm going to push back on you on that with you. I think that's being cowardice. I think that's where it picks up.
Well, let's just level at this. We're having some fun here. I stepped down from my CEO of a company, multi-billion-dollar company that I founded, led as CEO, built it from scratch, wasn't born into money, and had a choice to do what every other biotech CEO was doing in the wake of George Floyd. Chose not to do it, did not issue a statement in favor of BLM, because saving this country involves some measure of sacrifice.
Yeah.
So to somebody, I get this from white friends all the time, good-hearted people. It's like, I love that you can say it because I can't. My answer is bullshit. You're just a coward. Stand up and actually say it.
Yep.
All right, hold on. We're going to...
Why am I the only person who can
Okay. This is what
actually offer a legal argument for why we should be able to end birthright citizenship without a constitutional amendment? And so the irony to me is
I can answer that. I can answer that.
Yeah.
It's because of the color of your skin. And I don't mean that I'm saying you are inoculated. You know, for someone who looks like she's straight from.
This is cope for white people. If you are white, don't say shit like this. 1, it's dumb. And 2, it shows you're a little bitch. There may be an aspect of skin color being allowed to give you that inoculation. But just like we were talking with Tim Dillon, just like we were talking with who was the black person? Jesse Lee Peterson. It's not like any gay person could say what Tim Dillon says. It's not like any brown person could say what Vivek says. So that is a load of shit.
And I don't mean that I'm saying you are inoculated. You know, for someone who looks like she's straight from the hip.
I disagree with that. I'm going to be back at you, Steve. I'm going to hit you hard for that. That is because the rest of you are freaking lazy. And
cowards.
The conservative movement has grown lazy. Cowards. People in this country have common sense. What we really lack is courage.
Yes.
So I'm not going to buy some BS that like my last name or my skin color insulates me.
Yeah, fuck that. So if you like, are we under the impression that people don't hate Vivek for the things that he's saying? Maybe you get a little bit more hate, but suck your fucking I grab your fucking nuts and stand on business.
Think about it, I had to step
down.
No,
but that's the perception. You have balls, but other people won't criticize you.
But let's just level at this. We're having some fun here. I stepped down from my CEO of a company, multi-billion-dollar company that I founded, led as
talk about cope
CEO. Built it from scratch, wasn't born into money, and had a choice to do what every other biotech CEO was doing in the wake of George Floyd. Chose not to do it, did not.
Okay, so Ian says it's sad. It's sad but true. Vivek gets a pass for saying race stuff because of not being white. So let me ask you something. What is better or more valuable in society? Saying race stuff or being the fucking president? What the fuck are you talking about? You are a moron.
Not issue a statement in favor of BLM because saving this country involves some measure of sacrifice.
Yeah.
So to somebody, I get this from white friends all the time, good-hearted people. It's like, I love that you can say it because I can't. My answer is bullshit. You're just a coward. Stand up and actually say it.
Yep.
Stand for your actual convictions, because if you can't stand for your convictions, you don't have any at all.
But the issue is no one else does say it, right? We say it on this show, right? And then we take the arrows. Let me give you a very clear example. I come from Quebec.
Russian, German.
And the reason I say
take the arrows. Don't cry about it. Like that's
no,
part
I'm not crying about it. I'm saying as far as the Republican Party, the Republican Party. Why aren't they saying it? I am giving you your answer. That is the answer.
Palestinian, Israeli, Mexican, Senegal.
It's white guilt. It's not.
So we need to know
their white guilt. Hold on, let me finish here. This is important. In Quebec, and this goes to Ann Coulter's point, the only people who feel they can't say it because they've been told they can't say it are WASPs in this country. Quebec, they created language laws. They had the language police to enforce it. And by the way, this was copied across the world. This was copied across the world. It said, oh, wow, we can do this because we want to preserve a culture, French, namely French European culture, right, Acadian culture in Quebec. And they created these language laws, which, by the way, were discriminatory against English-speaking Canadians. No one has a problem with it anywhere else except in white United States of America because they've been told they can't. Now, I don't subscribe to that, but I will tell you this. My frustration is everyone in the Republican Party, save for you and maybe Donald Trump, it's a white guilt thing. They feel they can't say English because people say, do you mean white? And they go, no. And they're pussies.
So Donald Trump is not brown and he says the things, but that doesn't fit with my narrative.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to know what the one nation is? I
agree.
spoken in other countries, lone languages spoken in India is English.
Yeah.
So why should we worry about that in the United States of America when actually that creates coherence in our nation?
So build one. Stop fucking crying and build one. Oh, you're too much of a little baby bitch that you just want to go and whine on the internet and not do shit about shit. That's why there's no organization. Make a fucking organization then.
And so here's what I'll say is no excuses for anybody anymore. If you have your own convictions, speak your mind in the open, actually start standing for it. Don't assume it's somebody else's responsibility, and don't make excuses for yourself for not doing it either.
Bingo.
Or lose. Those are the options. Those are the options. Everything you want to do is going to lead to your downfall. Everything you want to do is going to lead to your downfall. You can continue to try to do whatever you want. I'm not trying to stop anybody from doing anything that they want to do. What I'm telling you is as long as you continue this mentality and this rhetoric, you are destined to lose. Thank you so much, guys. Let's give a big shout out to the donations. Quam Tech started us off with the Venmo. We had the Reverend Woodrow Goodshine Ministries. And then, of course, Funk Master General with a tenor. And then another one. And we had our boy Mid-Most Mark in the building. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very much. And, of course, our sponsors of the wait a minute. Wait. I forgot the banner. I apologize, but the Funk Master General is our sponsor of the stream. Thank you. Oh shit, I'm knocking shit over here. Thank you so much. Let's give him an extra one because he's loving it. And of course, we can't forget Zippy. How do we have? We had 1, 2, 3 different Rumble rants over on Rumble. Hell yeah, you guys are coming through for me. Thank you so very, very, very much. I did. I almost forgot, but I got you. I almost forgot, but I got you. Of course, Zippy always doing his part. Not only just dropping the Rumble rants, but keeping an eye on the chat, bro. That really does help me out a lot. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you are willing to open yourself up to new ideas, then I promise you, nothing that I'm saying is that controversial. Nothing that I'm saying is that drastic, and nothing that I'm saying is asking you to change anything about your life except slightly the perspective you take. It's not asking you to give up any of your values. It's not asking you to give up any of your beliefs. All it is shining a new light on the values that you already believe in so that more people can be just like you. If you don't want people to be just like you, then fix your shit. If you don't want people to be just like you, then fix your shit. If you do want people to be like you, keep your mind open. It's that simple, guys. So thank you so very much for hanging out. We, meaning the members of the channel, are headed over to the Discord server, guys. It is free to join Discord. So just hit the link. It's free. I think Nick just dropped it. We are in there 24/7 hanging out, having a good time, having conversations about this, that, and everything else. You don't have to worry about any kind of censors or anything. It is a free speech platform. There is nothing, no word or topic that you can say that will get you banned. That doesn't mean I won't ban you for being, this, that, or that. But there are no words, there are no topics that will get you banned. So go in and start some interesting conversations. But if you are a member of the channel, after every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday stream, we go into the voice channel for an after party. That is right. You are not stuck behind your keyboard. You are actually on screen with me and everybody else. It's a good time. I'm already there. So I will see you guys there. Thank you so much for hanging out. Once again, this is Morty, and I am your host, Sludge, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, I am out of here. Peace.